Hey everyone, my name is Christy Fideli. I'm a communications specialist and I also manage operations here at FR Law.
Hi everyone, my name is Yinli Gayton. I am a paralegal at FR Law. I am also and the bilingual paralegal here at FR Law. I do most of the interpretations here in the office and in court.
There's a need for bilingual court interpreters. There's a big gap in the legal system when, like America takes pride of equality, but when it comes to the legal system, that's when we ask ourselves, is it real? And we see this in our Hispanic community. We're both Hispanics. Yenli is Mexican. I'm Honduran myself. And we see the need every day in our office. And we're just a small criminal defense firm in Greenville, South Carolina. And we see this every day.
Yes, I think there is a desperate need for certified court interpreters. In my experience, I can probably count the interpreters with one hand. There's not very many, and most of the time they are always booked in advance. So if we do want to book one, we have to book them with sometimes months in advance. So there is a desperate need for interpreters, and I highly advise anyone who is interested in the legal field to look into becoming a certified court interpreter. It's a great benefits, great pay, and most importantly, a great outcome. You come out of court knowing that you have helped an individual whose first language is not English.
So we've talked a lot.
So many. We've both we both actually helped a client of ours that like we were saying, it all comes to equality. It all comes to being that bridge in the system. And you might be right. Like an interpreter is that person who's just supposed to be a fly in the wall, and you've got to be neutral when you're interpreting, but it also comes to controlling your emotions when you're there. Sometimes you just like want to jump over the table, because you're so mad, but you just like need to control your emotions. I don't know if you want to add about to this story.
No, yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat along with her. It takes a little bit more than just being an interpreter. I think, you have to learn how to manage your emotions and stuff.
I mean, if you want to be your own boss, this is what you need to do. You manage your own schedule, you have great pay. Let alone, you're going to have a tons of attorneys calling you to book you because there's a need. Our community keeps growing every single day. So the need is there. We just don't have enough people to serve the community. So you're going to be your own boss. You're going to plan your own hours. You're going to be able to say no to tons of attorneys if you don't want to. Like you have time to pick up your kids, to go to the gym, whatever you want. But you're going to manage your own schedule. You're going to be your boss. You're going to set your pay as well.
Yes, that is correct. I think what people look at too is that it takes a while. I think it's 3 different phases to become a court certified interpreter. It may take a while, but there's a lot of benefits out from that. And I know personally from reading on SC Courts that even if you just show up for 15 minutes, they'll pay you for the 2 full hours. So that's just one benefit that you get out of that.
Yeah, so if you're a qualified interpreter, your pay starts at $40 per hour. And if you're a court certified interpreter, they're going to book you for at least 2 hours, and that starts at $65 per hour. So, hey, that's not bad for being your own boss.
Yeah, yeah.
So now let's hear from Chris on how we get started.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Chris Fideli. I am the managing partner at FR Law here in downtown Greenville. We are a law firm that specializes in criminal defense and personal injury cases. But today we're here to talk about the importance of interpreters and court certified interpreters because they're essential for us being able to deliver services to our Spanish speaking clients. And we are very aware, because we serve that community, how great the need is to have additional court certified interpreters. We also here have a connection with SDA and Hispanic Alliance because one of our paralegals, Yenli, is a alumna of the program, and we are very impressed by all the students that we've met and interacted with. My wife mentors with the program as well, So we really think that there's a major opportunity to fill a community need with some of the best and brightest, most qualified people coming up and getting an education. So it's very important to us, and we want to see Spanish-speaking people and members of our Hispanic community receive at least equal treatment to what everyone else does here in the court system. Well, for one thing, there's a major demand. So if you're in court, you have a right under the U.S. Constitution to understand what's happening if you're involved in the court case. In my experience, and this is most acutely true for criminal defendants, so anyone that's been charged with a crime, whether it's a traffic ticket, DUI, drugs, or even really serious felonies, you have a right to have an interpreter there and to understand the proceedings against you. But it's not just about your court date. Interpreters are needed for people to go visit, for attorneys to go visit their clients in jail, to have meetings in their office, to interview witnesses or other family members about a client, to either prepare a defense for a case or prepare mitigation, which is just things that you tell the judge in order to go more light on your client. My experience in the public defender's office really taught me this lesson the hard way, because even though it really was important to me to make sure that I served everyone equally as well and delivered the same quality legal services, the simple fact was, if I got a stack of new jails, so these are new people that have just got arrested or in jail, and we get 12 at a time in the public defender's office, if I flip through and I see Spanish only written on one of those folders, that client at best is going to wait a week longer for me even just to have my first conversation with him or her, because I have to schedule an interpreter, and I can't go meet with him and just use sign language or whatever to explain the case and why they're in jail and things like that. I need a certified interpreter in order to be able to do that. And the good ones are booked out weeks in advance. So even if I immediately call my interpreter, he or she is not going to be available for days or maybe weeks longer. So that's somebody that's sitting in jail, may or may not even understand why they're there, and is not going to see their attorney that they have a right to see and to talk to for an additional week, 2 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on the situation. So it's a critical need, and I know for a fact that people who speak Spanish get worse results and worse treatment by the criminal justice system. And if you want to fix that, then being an interpreter is one of the best things you can possibly do.
Okay, so but you basically need to have this qualifications, this like your education. For you, your education, you have to have a high school diploma or higher. Then you have your qualifications and skills. Qualifications would be the 2-day workshop, the written exam, the proficiency assessment, and the oral exam. So for qualified interpreters, we have under the South Carolina, it says you need a 2-day workshop and a written exam for you to be a qualified interpreter. But lately we have heard from someone who just went through the process, you will actually need the oral exam as well. And for you to be a certified interpreter, you need all of the above. So you need the 2-day workshop, written exam, proficiency, and oral. So once you're a qualified interpreter, you actually have 2 years to become a fully certified interpreter. So you can start working as a qualified interpreter while you make your way to a certified interpreter. And this is actually what people recommend, because you do need the practice to be a certified interpreter. So court interpreters are trained in 3 different types of interpreting. So we have sight, simultaneous, and consecutive, and you will be tested for both. And in this case, if you're doing Spanish interpreting, you would be tested in both languages. Next step, you can contact SCCICP at southcarolinacourts.org for some additional information. You are welcome to contact our law firm too. We have one of our summer interns who is just going through the process, and another one is just going to get started as well. So if you need some information, I went through the training through University of Georgia, so I can give you some additional information as well.
In the meantime, beyond just doing the course and going through the kind of official process, all the experience that you may already have interpreting for people, whether it's your own family, friends, members of your community, etc., is the kind of way that you're going to get prepared for doing this. Even better if you can get an internship or a clerkship in one of these offices, whether it's our office, the public defender's office, even the solicitor's office, or even one of the local courts. where you can be the interpreter that they rely on to interpret for people. You can also do it through community organizations like Hispanic Alliance that may connect you with opportunities or people in need that have that service provided. So don't discount the importance of practice, and it will also prepare you for getting into those testing situations where you may be a little bit nervous otherwise, but you've been there and done it many times before. Something else to mention is that you frequently have to discuss topics that are not easy topics to discuss. So it's not just the language ability, but also your emotional and psychological balance, being able to control reactions to that and just be the interpreter, just be the conduit for the attorney and the client to communicate, maintaining privacy and confidentiality. All those things are built into it. So you're not just somebody at the store getting the right amount of change. You are a professional who is providing a professional service that is highly valued and highly needed. So once you've decided to become an interpreter and you've committed to the process and you've become one, your one great starting point is to make sure you're on the Clerk of Court's official list of certified interpreters. However, out there in the community, the attorneys know who the good interpreters are. And if you are a professional, if you do your job well, and you're easy to work with too, that's a big part of it, your name will quickly get passed around amongst attorneys that serve Spanish-speaking people. And you will quickly find that there is plenty of work for you to do. Because again, most of the attorney-client communication does not occur in court. Attorneys need to be able to communicate with their clients outside of court on a regular basis. They need to be able to have meetings, go to the jail and have meetings. So you're going to be able to find a lot of work. And like I said earlier, the people that the attorneys know are good at their job, they're in demand. They start getting booked out weeks and weeks in advance. And if you're feeling entrepreneurial, I mean, there's a lot of good reasons to do it just as a service, but there's really good economic incentive to do it as well. You can serve your community and really make a good living doing this as well. And the attorneys, attorney referrals is the best way to build business that way. You get in with somebody, they like your work, they're going to start referring you or recommending you to their friends and their colleagues that will then start hiring you, and you'll quickly find that you have a lot of work. A couple other tips. There are some great resources for getting started as an interpreter and getting support while along that process. We're going to post those in the video description. But also a possibility, if you are not having trouble with maybe finding a job or an internship with a law firm or a lawyer, is that finding somebody that already does this, finding interpreters who already do this work, because they're already going to have a book of business, and depending who you're following, they're going to give the best example of what to do and how to do it properly. And there are some really amazing interpreters out there, but they quickly become so busy that they are high in demand and they're going to need help. So that's a great opportunity as well. All right, guys, so just to sum everything up, please consider becoming an interpreter, especially if you're already bilingual and you have any interest in the legal process or legal services. There is a great need in the community, and the professionals that are serving these people, like myself, would really appreciate it as well. Look for opportunities to get experience prior to committing to doing the entire course. Look for internships, shadowing opportunities with attorneys or people who are already certified interpreters. If you have any questions about the process or you're interested in internships, we obviously hire and have interns here that are SDA members or alumni. So please just send a resume, reach out to us at info@frlawgreenville.com. We'd be happy to meet and talk with anyone. We really believe in this cause and serving the Hispanic community. So please don't hesitate with questions. Reach out, and then hopefully take advantage of the opportunity to not only serve your community, but find a very good job and career potentially if you're really passionate about doing this.